In problem 2, we're going to be using congruent parts. In your textbook, you have a nice picture of the SR-71 Blackbird aircraft wings with some nice triangles put on there. Since I'm not much of an artist, I'm just going to take these two triangles that you see here to the right off that drawing, relabel the vertices, and this is what you're going to get. Now these two triangles to the right that you see suggest congruency. We have triangles ITR and triangle ECA. And we need to figure out what the measure of this angle right here is. Measure of angle E. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to need to develop a plan to figure out what the measure of this angle is. Angle E. We know two angle measures in triangle ITR. We know that this measure of angle T is 30 and the measure of angle R is 75. In these congruent triangles, we also know that angle E corresponds to angle I. So we know that angle E is congruent to angle I. So we need to find the measure of angle E by first finding the measure of angle I. Using the triangle angle sum theorem, we're going to write an equation involving the measure of angle I. So we know that the measure of angle I plus 30 plus 75 equals 180. Now that we have an equation for the measure of angle I, all we have to do is solve for the measure of angle I. So we add 30 plus 75 to get 105, and we subtract that from both sides of the equation to end up with the measure of angle I equals 75. Since we know that angle I and angle E are corresponding parts of congruent triangles, we can now say that angle I is congruent to angle E. And using the definition of congruence, we can say that the measure of angle I equals the measure of angle E. Since we know the measure of angle I to be 75, then we can say that the measure of angle E equals 75.